I have a question. You talked about the economic illiteracy of Kamala Harris's wealth tax, but Trump is currently proposing a 10% tariff on, or even more, on all goods from every country, meaning every producer in this country needs to pay 10% on everything that they make, and those costs will be passed on to consumers, as we know, inflation.
Yes.
So what do you think about economic illiteracy on the right, and shouldn't we just be just as concerned about that?
So excellent question, and yes. The answer is yes. Across-the-board tariffs are an incredibly bad economic idea. Obviously, that does amount to a blanket tax on Americans. Now, here's what I actually think President Trump is doing, and the reason I think, that I have to do a deep read of President Trump is because you always have to do a little bit of chicken entrail reading, depending on what Trump is saying at any given time. The way that I tend to read President Trump is by looking at what he did in his first term. I have a record. So the way that Trump uses tariffs is that he uses them as a threat mechanism for other countries in order to pry things out of them. So he used to do this with Justin Trudeau all the time. You'll recall that he actually did this with NAFTA. You remember he said he was going to get rid of NAFTA? And NAFTA is, of course, a free trade agreement with Canada, the United States, and Mexico. He said he was going to totally destroy it. And what did he do? He came and he basically negotiated a deal that was very similar to NAFTA, but more advantageous for the United States in a couple of ways. Now, I'll tell you what was mildly interesting is that actually over the last 48 hours, Trump said that he wants to do the blanket tariff, but he would do that as a replacement for the income tax. Now, that's kind of fascinating. Honestly, that one is actually kind of interesting to me because on the one hand, you are certainly increasing prices, but on the other hand, you get rid of the income tax, you're getting pretty dramatically lower prices in the United States. Plus, you're not going to be penalizing innovators who earn more. So, that one's it's not going to go anywhere, obviously, but that one's more interesting. So, if I thought that were the actual implementable policy that Donald Trump was going to pursue as president, I'd be more disquieted. Again, I think that Trump has ideas about tariffs that are just economically wrong.